So for the past couple of years, we've been hearing that we're either close to the top or at the top of the market already. And that sooner or later the market's just going to come crashing down just like it did in '08. But it's not quite the same. Now, I'm sure most of us have seen at least one of the big movies that came out about the '08 market crash. It showed the real estate market being on fire, homes selling left and right. Anybody with a pulse could get a mortgage. This time, we're still seeing homes go as soon as they hit the market above asking price without any contingencies. But there are a few key differences. Number one, housing supply. This past year, we saw home values appreciate an average of 10% across the country. This means that a lot of homeowners gained equity and a lot of home buyers saw prices going up. It reminded them of back in '08 when that's all they saw. Homes selling left and right and prices just kept going up. However, unlike last time, these price increases are driven by a huge lack of inventory. We currently do not have enough homes on the market. So in real estate, the way we measure this is through months of inventory. A balanced market sits at around 6 months of inventory. This means it would take 6 months to sell every single home on the market. Right now, we're sitting at around 1.9 months of inventory. Now, compare that to back the mid-2000s whenever the market crashed. The months of inventory went from 5 months to 11 months. There was plenty of houses to be sold. Now let's talk about demand. During the last housing boom, it was just a big case of FOMO. The mortgage industry made it just way too easy for people to apply and be approved for mortgages that were just unrealistic. Like, there's no way they could afford these payments. This time the demand is real. The largest generation in the US right now is finally ready for home ownership, and they're coming in hot. They're coming in ready to buy. On top of that, we have historically low interest rates, plus the health crisis is making people rethink if their home actually suits their needs. And last but not least, equity. Earlier I mentioned that home values rose an average of 10%. So here in Houston, the market that I'm in, homeowners gained an average of $20,000 in equity. In the mid-2000s, we saw people walking into negative equity or cashing out all the current equity in their home. So when depreciating values hit, they had nowhere to go. It left them with a mortgage that was higher than what the home was actually worth. Now pair that with a mortgage that you can't afford, and that's a straight recipe for foreclosure. So like I said, although there are a ton of similarities, we are in an overall healthier market. But just to throw a curveball at y'all, foreclosures are coming. So when COVID first started, mortgage companies started promoting what they call a forbearance. It's basically a temporary stop on your payments. What most people didn't know was that at the end of the forbearance period, you will have to pay a lump sum to catch up your loan. Unless, of course, your mortgage servicer will offer some type of modification. Now, the government extended those periods for a little while, but eventually they will come to an end, leaving many homeowners facing a foreclosure situation. On top of that, our government also passed an eviction moratorium. This one was mostly aimed at renters. It was similar to a forbearance, but on their rent payments, meaning they didn't have to pay rent and they wouldn't get evicted. What most people don't know is that these rentals more than likely have a mortgage attached to them, but the mortgage is in the landlord's name, meaning these landlords aren't getting any sort of income but still have to pay that mortgage payment. Now, if they don't have enough money in reserves, it's only a matter of time until it catches up to them and they're facing a foreclosure situation. So, although we are still going to see a wave of foreclosures come, they will be for completely different reasons than during the last market crash. So with all that being said, I actually just saw an article earlier today that said that Texas is not going to be extending the eviction moratorium. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll keep an eye on it and keep you guys updated. As always, if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, hit that share button, and let me know what other topics you want me to cover.